Here we are in Manitou Beach, Saskatchewan. This is like a wellness / spa, Salt Lake, beachfront town in the middle of Saskatchewan. It's a little bit like, what the F? Your lake is said to be 3 to 4 times saltier than the ocean. The only place you will find saltier water is the Dead Sea itself and the armpits of Orville Redenbacher. When you grow up in a small town in Newfoundland, you see the people have a sense of humor about hard times.
Check.
I turned that into a career and hit the road.
Mr. Johnny Harris!
Now I'm on a mission to find the funny in the places you least expect it. Canada's struggling small towns. Towns that are against the ropes, but hanging in there. Still laughing in the face of adversity.
This is Manitou Beach, Saskatchewan.
I can't even believe it. It blew my mind when you got here. Let me ask you this. How much do Canadians spend every year going to the Caribbean? If somebody told me that you could have this same experience playing in the salt water under the hot sun with the same sensation of coconut oil and beach sand up your butt crack in the middle of the prairies? Amazing! To find out a little bit more about Manitou Beach in general, I went and I had a chat with local historian Sue Alcar. Sue knows so much about it, and she's not even from here.
Well, originally I'm from England. I came over, worked in the children's school-based dental program throughout the province, and then I happened to meet my husband. So for the sake of love, I moved to Manitou Beach 18 years ago.
She's a dental hygienist. The thought of a dental hygienist in England, it's a bit like a beachfront town in Saskatchewan, isn't it?
It was actually the First Nations people who realized how special this lake is. The lake is incredibly dense with minerals. They could float in it. It's like zero gravity.
There is a unique combination of minerals in this water, and it is said to have incredible healing properties. That helped Manitou Beach become a go-to vacation destination. Back in the day, thousands of tourists took the train here every year. It was a happening beachfront vacation spot for the social elite.
This was the 1920s, the roaring 20s. People had money, people had loads of fun. And yes, people came here from many states in the US. People came in by the thousand. This place was hot.
Yeah. But then it also attracted some sort of notorious clientele in the 20s, is that right?
There's Al Capone.
Al Capone is said to have been here.
Yes.
Sue told me about the legend of Capone coming here. We know that Capone came at least as far as Moose Jaw. Moose Jaw apparently was a big deal during Prohibition.
Yes, Moose Jaw was considered to be Little Chicago.
Is that right?
It was the end of the railway line, all kinds of hanky-panky there.
Although the one little bit of irony, I think, is that Al Capone would come to the most buoyant lake in North America. Do you know what I mean? Why would Al Capone come to the one place where it's impossible to sink a body? Do you know what I mean? Capone's like, oh, I love Saskatchewan, but how many cinder blocks do you have to attach to a guy to keep... No. Tell me a little bit then about the decline of Manitou Beach.
Well, the first nail in the coffin was the Depression. The people still came here, but they spent less and they didn't stay as long. And then, unfortunately, the chalet pool burnt down in October of 1983, and that, I think, really put the final nail into the coffin.
The chalet pool burned down in 1983, which is really tragic because there was people in the pool that could have prevented it, but there was a strict no splashing policy. If your indoor pool burns down, are you not at the end of the day still left with an outdoor pool? Now Manitou Beach is facing deeper problems that are literally lapping at your heels. Little Manitou Lake ain't so little anymore. The water levels have been rising and rising and rising, and it's great that these waters have healing powers, but once it comes up and starts healing your basement, that's... So I went and I had a chat with your town foreman, Fraser Murray. Fraser Murray, right here. Fraser, tell me a little bit about your experience here.
Well, I was born in the area. I've been coming here ever since I was a little kid. My whole family's been coming down here forever. So we have a strong connection to the beach and to the water and to the kind of the whole atmosphere down here.
Yeah. He's lived here for 36 years here. He loves living by the water. He is an avid swimmer. He loves boating. He loves water sports, which makes me think, is he the best person to keep the water away? He loves it. He loves it. Is he the best choice for this job? He's looking at the A-frame of your roof thinking that could make a good water ski ramp in the future. Something tells me this wasn't designed to be a water park.
This particular area used to go out for quite a distance. This beach probably went out another 40 yards at one time.
When did it start running into trouble?
Probably about 7 years ago, the rainfall increased dramatically here. We're used to maybe 9 to 11 inches of moisture in a year, and we were getting over 30. Being a closed basin lake, the fresh water runs in from every direction, and all that water just happens to flow into this lake. And once the water's in here, it's salt. Like normally 3 times saltier or more than the ocean water.
Is that right?
It's very salty. There's really nowhere to send it when it's in here. Evaporation is our only friend when that happens. It used to be a road that went straight out east here. That road went through the lake. There was a lake on both sides of it and headed off towards Plunkett.
Highway 365, just out to the east here. It's too bad. You used to be able to take that road from the top of the lake all the way to the bottom. Nowadays, you can still take that road to the bottom of the lake. I think Fraser, he's been a little bit discouraged with the government. He says it's been a lot of half measures, a lot of sort of Band-Aid solutions that also take forever to put in place.
We had a big rainfall, like a big thunderstorm rolled through. You know, I've been to other communities where they had 6 inches of rain in a matter of a day or two.
Right, yeah.
If that ever happened here, that would be catastrophic. Yeah.
We were sitting on the swing set that's in the water. He said that the government did 3 analytical studies over 4 years before they sent somebody in to take the seats of the swing set and loop them up over around the top bar to make them higher, to get them up out of the water. Back in the day, there was fun things to do, like out in the water, they had a thing called Shoot the Chute. It's like a cross between a roller coaster and a water slide. And you climb to the top and you would slide down this. It was also in the days before water skiing, so people didn't know yet that if you hit water hard enough at the right angle, you could give yourself an accidental saltwater enema. I wanted to get a bird's eye view of the main 2 landmarks here in Manitou Beach, but I'm not a bird, so I had to go and visit Orrin McIntosh. This guy, he's got a big heart and small buildings. These are spectacular looking, these models.
The reason I built them more would be because all of a sudden they're gone, like Danceland, you know. Could be here today and gone tomorrow. Now people can come and look and they can say, oh, I remember that. And that's the good part about it, I guess, is memories.
In his basement, he's built these amazing to-scale replicas, both of Danceland and the chalet pool.
When you came in the front doors, of course, the first thing that hit you, the heat. This was hot. It was always warm in here because the water was always warm. And there was something about this pool had its own smell. I don't know what it was, the salt water, the potato chips, the heat, whatever it was. Over here, when you came into the pool, if you were a stranger, you had to rent a bathing suit.
Rent a bathing suit? I said, hang on now, rent bathing suits? Seeming to me, some things are in the outright ownership category. Do you know what I mean? I think bathing suit is up there with toothbrush and deodorant. Suddenly, renting bowling shoes doesn't seem so bad anymore. Oren told me that they used to have entertainment over at the chalet pool. And he said there was one guy who used to go up to the highest diving board and he would soak the bottom of his bathing suit in coal oil and they would dim the lights and he would light himself on fire before diving down into the water. And everybody was impressed and everybody would clap and applaud and be happy. Everybody except the guy at the rental counter who's going, "Hey man, that's not your bathing suit. That's a rental." Then we had a look at his model of this place, of Danceland, and it's extraordinary. He's done a remarkable job.
There.
Oh my goodness. Look at that.
They used to have a kind of a rope around the dance floor. And you could come in and sit down, and if you wanted to dance, it was 10 cents a dance.
Hey, bartender, fix me a drink.
But Oren told me about some of the acts that would come through here at Danceland. Norma Locke, Wayne King, Hank Snow, the Ink Spots. He said a lot of big bands would come here. A lot of big bands would play on this very stage. It's pretty cool for me to get to play here now.
We couldn't get in to see this because this place was just jammed. So we were trying to look in to one of these windows here, trying to get a glimpse of her.
Yeah.
I got to take the roof off the Danceland model, which is pretty good because now in the future when my comedian buddies ask me, "Hey, how was your show in Saskatchewan?" I'll be like, "Oh, at Danceland? Pff, I tore the roof off the place."
The following program may contain coarse language. Viewer discretion is advised.
You know, they say water and oil don't mix, but with all the healing and restorative claims that were made about the lake, well, to me, that water started to sound a little bit like snake oil. So I went and I talked with a guy who has genuinely experienced these healing properties firsthand, or first foot anyway. I had a chat with Dagan Harper. Dagan's story, man, it's a rough one. This guy, when he was a little kid, he had severe skin conditions.
I went into a dermatologist in Regina. She said I had this condition called psoriasis.
And then he was given all this steroidal cream.
And my skin cleared up instantly. And I was like, this is amazing. I've never had my skin completely cleared before. And then as soon as I stopped taking those pills, it came back tenfold, I guess, all over my whole body, from my scalp to my toes.
But his mother started bringing him to the lake.
Yeah, she brought me here when I was 7. I guess when I was 12 was when I really started to realize how nice the water was for my skin.
Dagan is walking, talking, floating, much less itching, proof that the water at Manitou Beach is worth its weight in salt. I said to Dagan, I said, "What do you have to say to the skeptics?" I know there are people out there who say like, "Oh no, the healing of properties of that lake, that's all bull." He said, "Hey man, it's no skin off my ass, not anymore anyway." You know, next up, I went to a place that's fresh and full of beans, just like the owner. I went to the Village Perk to meet Lori Bizdell.
Okay, we're making banana muffins. We do everything old school here.
Yeah,
We never use a mixer, we use our hands.
yeah.
That's how we get food with love.
Food with love, okay.
That's right.
So, Lori, you're not originally from Manitou Beach, right?
No, I grew up in Saskatoon.
So how did you end up here?
I was living overseas for over 25 years. My mother passed suddenly, and my dad said, "It's time to come home." So I came back, and I said to my father, "You know, it's just too cold here." And he says, "Well, let's live at the beach." And I said, "What beach?"
Yeah.
I grew up in Saskatchewan. What beach?
Yeah.
And he said, well, there's this place I used to go to as a kid, Manitou Beach. And it's really close to here. And I said, I spent my whole life with you. We've camped all over Saskatchewan and we've never been to Manitou Beach. You've never mentioned Manitou Beach. And this was a huge part of your childhood.
Yeah.
And he said, I forgot. I forgot. A lot of people in this area, Manitou Beach, they feel that this place is very spiritual. More and more.
Because as I understand, not only was it your father's idea to come here to Manitou Beach, but also to open this shop. I understand he passed away. You decided to stay. Do you also love the place?
I've grown to love it because I've had so much support.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. After my dad passed.
Yeah, that's okay.
Strangers.
Yeah.
They come in here. Sorry.
No, that's okay. It's the onion muffins we're making. That's okay.
Actually, when she was telling me about it, she got a bit choked up. And I didn't want to be insensitive, but when I saw her tears, I was like, Lori, don't you think there's enough salt water here?
It took me a while to say this is your life now.
Yeah.
Forget about all of what you've done already and bring what you've done to where you're living. Settle in, settle down. If spiritually you believe that you're here for a reason, well, my spirituality made sure I stayed here.
Lori would like to see more activities here, especially for kids. She said she'd like to see a water park here. I said, don't you already have a water park? Like, remember your park? Does that not qualify as a water park now? The Salt Lake isn't the only place to get pickled. I'm talking about Mike's Beach Bar. There was a bunch of people there. It was a nice little afternoon get-together. Volley pong in full swing.
Now, if you don't make this one,
Yeah.
you get a Rushka. And I'll go ahead. Okay, now I know what a Rushka is, don't you?
Yeah, what's
Here,
up?
I'll show you.
When life gave this guy lemons, he made hard lemonade and ran a drink special on him. I'm talking about Mike Nicholson.
How did you end up in Manitou Beach?
My parents bought a business here in 1978. And then in 99, we bought this. We spent about a year out. I just had to get back in it.
Mike's Beach Bar, what role does this play in having a beach vibe here?
It's central to the party atmosphere, really.
Yeah.
It's always nice to have a place you can go, let your hair down, unwind, have some fun.
Do you play a lot of Jimmy Buffett?
We do. That's
That's the vibe of this place, right?
It is. It's all feel-good music.
It's just a fun spot in town, and Mike is passionate about keeping it alive, that's the place where you let your hair down and have a lot of fun. The only problem is when he took over the bar, what was it, 18 years ago? He said, I'm going to keep this place open come hell or high water. And now Mother Nature is calling his bluff a little bit, I think. And we were out there playing volley pong.
It's basically just a version of beer pong. The idea is to eliminate all the baskets, so as we make them, they take the basket away.
So you take it away. Okay, let's see.
There we go.
Do you change the rules as the game goes?
Well, it depends if I'm winning or losing,
Yeah,
I
right.
guess, eh?
It's a cross between volleyball and beer pong and bad life choices. It's a lot of fun.
Considering where you are, it doesn't seem to me, Mike, like you're too nervous about the water.
Well, I'm nervous on the inside. We're going to do some more berming, and then there's a diversion project, and that'll hopefully get us to a point where we can at least control it a little bit.
It seems to me that you're an optimist.
I'm an eternal optimist, absolutely.
Nice. Nicely done, Mike. Good
See?
shot.
I guess in a town that's flooding, an optimist still sees it as half empty. Is that right? I guess so.
And how overall is the community dealing with the rising water levels?
For the most part, pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, what can we do? Laugh in its face, right?
Yeah.
What other choice do we have?
Laugh in the face of adversity. Right?
Yeah, that's what we do. Field goal to win the game.
Oh,
He did too.
You gotta be kidding me.
Defeat is obviously heartbreaking. Here, let me console you a little bit, sport.
How many drinks are we supposed to drink now after that?
Probably about 6 of them.
You know, the people here in Manitou Beach are faced with a predicament, but they are rising to the challenge, literally. People here still have hope, and people here now are rolling up their sleeves just like they had to roll up their pant legs. And you know what? I gotta say, I'm a believer. I've been in the water, and I feel right now, I feel like less neurotic. I feel like chilled out, which is unusual for a comedian. To find a comedian in a place of mental tranquility is like trying to find a beach town in Saskatchewan, essentially. It's unusual. Well, right before I came to dance night this evening, my mom called me for the first time since I got here. She said, "Jonathan, how's it going?" I said, "Oh, Mom, Manitou Beach is wicked." I said, "I met with a mini model citizen, dipped my toes in the seaside swings, sipped some slings with the beach bar boss." She said, "Jonathan, what are you talking about?" I said, "Mom, I'm talking about Manitou Beach, Saskatchewan." Thanks so much, everybody.
I was giggling all night long. It was really, really well done.
I loved it. I couldn't keep my laughter in. It was really funny.
That's what Danceland is all about. This is where all the big shows came.
How are you?
Hello.
Good.
When I first sat down, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna sit here for like an hour and I'm gonna be bored.
I asked him if he was single and he said no.
And then I'm like, hey, I'm laughing. How did that happen?